Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban presented Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskiy with a ceasefire proposal aimed at halting the ongoing conflict with Russia, more than 2 years after Moscow's full-scale invasion began, during his surprise visit to Kiev.
First, I am grateful to Hungary for the support of our people, for the humanitarian support of Ukraine. Every manifestation of defending life is important to us. Second, Hungary participated in the first peace summit and has supported the communique of the summit, and this speaks about the readiness of Hungary to become effective in realizing real, long-awaited security in our country and our entire region in Europe. Today we discussed in detail how Hungary can further demonstrate its leadership in the preparation of the second summit. We see the possibility of organizing a second summit already this year. We would very much like it, and we can do all the preparatory work for it in the coming months. We will be grateful to Hungary for its help and activity.
Following their meeting in Kyiv, Orban did not disclose specific details of the proposal, and Zelensky did not comment on it publicly. Orban emphasized the potential for a ceasefire to expedite negotiations, expressing gratitude for Zelenskyy's candid response.
We are trying to close all previous disputes and focus on the future. We wish to establish relations between our countries. We wish to sign a global cooperation agreement with Ukraine, similar to those we have with other neighboring countries. We will participate in the modernization of the Ukrainian economy according to our capabilities, and for this, we want to create appropriate conditions. There is a traditional Hungarian national minority living in Ukraine. We hope that these issues will also be resolved here. I see good chances for this. Ukrainians also live in Hungary, and they have lived with us before. There is a self-government of the national minority in Hungary. But now, because many refugees have arrived in our country, people have sought refuge with us, and this has raised a number of issues.
To all of us in Europe, it is crucial that the European support of Ukraine remains at a sufficient level, including our defense from Russian terror. It is important that the relationship between all neighbors in Europe becomes more deep and effective.
The discussions took place a day after Hungary assumed the rotating presidency of the European Union, and was significant due to Orban's consistent criticism of Western military support for Ukraine. Notably, Orban remains one of the few Western leaders to have engaged with Russian President Vladimir Putin since the invasion. Throughout the conflict, Orban has consistently opposed financial aid to Ukraine. Notably, he left an EU leaders' meeting in December to avoid voting against a decision to open accession negotiations with Ukraine. Budapest has justified its stance by pointing to Ukraine's alleged failure to protect the rights of its Hungarian minority, a key criterion for EU accession. Despite lifting its block on EU accession talks last month, Hungary has continued to express reservations.
There is a war psychosis in Europe, and the logical outcome of this will be the arrival of military units of Western European countries on the territory of Ukraine. Well, maybe not to the front line, but this will happen. A sane person can have no doubt about it.
Almost all EU leaders except Orban have visited Kyiv since Russia attacked Ukraine in February 2022. He is also one of only two, along with Austrian Chancellor Karl Nehammer, to have met Putin in that time. In December, Orban accepted an invitation from Zelensky to visit Kyiv, but expressed uncertainty about the purpose of such a meeting. Orban's visit comes after he declined an invitation to the Ukraine Peace Summit in Switzerland last month, opting to send Foreign Minister Peter Szijjártó instead. FT said that in reaction to Bloc's efforts to prevent Hungary from taking up the EU's rotating presidency, Orban has made a pledge to other leaders to be a responsible broker of EU legislation. This visit is therefore seen as a symbolic effort by Orban to bolster Hungary's reputation within the EU.